Well, hello everyone and good day. Welcome back to Subnautica on PlayFrame, another week of it. And welcome back to the Cove base. I've been busy once again, not with anything super important really, I'll show you in a minute, but one of our earliest priorities today will be creating the blue key to get through the last force field down in the facility below. Might take us a bit to get to that, because first I need to show y'all something. I was talking last week about how I was going to try to make this base down here, this cove base, look not stupid while being more or less vertical. And I will let you be the judge. I feel like it's actually turned out pretty good. I'll give you a tour. The supports are not loading in yet. Again, not really sure why. There, I guess. Not really sure why that happens. A little strange. Anyway. This is the Cove base. I kind of have a suspicion we do not have a lot of use for this base anymore, now that we have our portals from surface, like several different portals from surface to the deep down facility. This midpoint is a little bit less useful. But I thought, yeah, I might as well, before we leave and go about our business elsewhere, I should go ahead and try to make this a nice looking place as best I can. So we got like this central vertical structure, and since we had this, like this had to branch out from here at around this height, I figured, okay, let's use these vertical supports that I've never used pretty much ever to give it the look of a little bit more structure and balance. And let's create several other branches off of this sort of like tree shape type thing. It almost evokes the tree we're next to. I kind of like that. I stacked a couple of our larger multi-purpose rooms together here, moved our garden up top, which I actually quite like that a lot too. Helps to add to the sense of verticality with these creep vines and such. I think it's turned out pretty good for a place that we're not going to be making a lot of use of henceforth. Pleased with it though. I'll give you the tour. So down here, as you've mostly seen, I can't remember how much of this I've adjusted or altered since last time, but mostly our storage room, also our little greenhouse of sorts, and this reactor, which doesn't see a lot of use, but in the rare occasion where the 1,000 we're getting from the thermal plants isn't enough, this is handy in a pinch. Storage for like quartz, well, it's empty now, but storage for like quartz and titanium here. Just some basics. Up above, on this floor, which is decorated, it's all decorated in a pretty slapdash way, admittedly, but I don't even know what this space is, technically. It's got decor in it now. It was a big empty room. But this is where we keep the fabricator and the mod station and the growing tree. I think the power cell chargers are, yeah, they're down here, battery charger over there. We have our fish locker, as every good base needs. Jam-packed with Reginalds. How is that, you might ask? Well, because we have a very, very tall tank full of Reginalds now. There were folks in comments weeks ago talking about how, rather than using ladders, since the ladders can be a little wonky in their use and their appearance, some folks say that they just get a alien containment unit that they just stack on top of itself, like several floors over, so that they're all connected, and then you just use that as a little swimming elevator, which is kind of cute. So I tried that out this time. We'll use it in a second. Here's a little quiet space, I guess, if you need a break from all the hustle and bustle of... Anyway. Over here is our little rave room with our strobe light that also, as a bonus, makes water and salt. Down here, in theory, if I was going to build a nuclear reactor in this base again, I would put it down here. where the hum would be less annoying. I don't know that I'm going to bother with that, since I don't really plan to be staying here, and honestly, don't really need the power either. But that's where that would go. Let's try taking our elevator. I planted some plants in it, because folks were wanting me to start putting plants in these things, and it does add a certain something. Oxygen, specifically, in this case, which is kind of nice. Many Reginalds. Too many, honestly. That's kind of the one downside of using your elevator tank as your, like, food, fish, breeding tank. They do kind of get in your way as you try to go up and down. They have a little bit of collision, which can get a little hectic. Most of these floors are kind of empty. Again, just decorative, alternating between glass and grass. Glass and grass. And scanner room branches off from here. It's pretty cool seeing the cave structure here. Really do like that. But further up, we can reach our moon pool, which can't remember if I'd added the vehicle station thing previously, but I have now. Furthermore, we have our little quarters in here. Bed, another tree. Little desk with a view of the better tree. Sorry, tree, but come on, let's be honest. Much better tree. Much more could be done with this decoratively and functionally, to be honest. I was mostly just kind of having fun in like a build your Sims house way with this one. Just trying to take on the design challenge of make a more vertical base look good. And I think that's been achieved. I quite like this. And I feel like the rest of the shading is loaded in now. As well as the rest of the supports. Huzzah. If I was going to spend more time here, I'd probably add a bunch more lights. As one does. But I think we will be leaving this down here for the time being, because once we've made our key, we do not have a whole lot more reason to be down here other than, I guess this is a great place to come hang out if you want to hang out near the big tree. There's also a lot of resources in the surrounding biomes, so if we were really running low on a bunch of things, this would be a good place to bring the Cyclops and the Prawn down to, do a bunch of gathering and mining, and then take all that stuff back topside, where it's easier to get around to and from more places. Anywho, we got a blue key to make. There's probably other places to find those, but whatever. I got plenty of these cubes, endless cubes, if you think about it. And kyanite I have in ample supply as well. So, good. We got our blue key. Let's get some food before we go. We're not going to be going direct from here to the, oops. We're not going to go direct from here downward, though, because why would we? We've got so many portal options for getting ourselves down there. We're taking ourselves back to the surface. It's time to return to home base, I think. I've packed up a whole lot of minerals and materials and supplies and everything from here on the Cyclops. I already took the sea moth back up. Now we just gotta grab the prawn. And we'll be ready to hit the road.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Really loving this game. It has been a treat. I'm excited to eventually play Below Zero and the sequel whenever it kind of hits full release. We won't do like Below Zero immediately after finishing this, but pretty soon though, because boy, this has been super fun. Really glad y'all have been enjoying it so much as well.
Welcome aboard, Captain. All systems online.
All right. I believe we're all packed up. Let's get ourselves out of here.
Engine powering up.
I feel like I'm getting a little bit better now that I've made the trip up and down off camera a couple of times. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at navigating with this thing. Figured out how to use silent running and defense, well, not defenses, but sonar and all those other things more sparingly. Kind of want to be careful how fast I go here because I don't want to... Like, we bonk a lot of fish driving our little water vehicles around. Running into these large ghost rays, though, I'd feel bad. More bad, I mean. But let's go back home. We may come back down here later to explore more. Potentially. But I feel like I'll do that either in the prawn or the moth. Because this big fella is both too cumbersome and too expensive to replace. Not just the vehicle, all the modules in it, the power cells in it, the cargo. It's not irreplaceable, but boy, it would be a huge pain. That's kind of why I've been a lot more cautious than I started in the playthrough. It's not that I'm finding the sea creatures more scary, necessarily. It's that I now have a lot more to lose. Like, the cost of getting attacked by one of these things is potentially much higher. Just starting the game out when I got nothing. Like, I may have just made a knife. Didn't even have a repair tool yet. Swimming right up to a leviathan of some sort. Not really a whole lot to be lost there. Now, it's potentially hours of wandering around and gathering to replace everything from one encounter that goes bad. Oops. Folks' reaction to me being relatively chill about the big sea monsters and leviathans and stuff actually did get me thinking, like, why am I not scared by these things? Like, they can be intimidating, but, like, any fear I have is always in a, like, you might destroy something that like, you might make me lose progress in a way. Which is its own kind of, like, scary, for sure. I'm getting stuck on something. It's its own kind of scary, for sure. Let's go silent mode here. It's its own kind of scary, for sure. The fear of, losing a bunch of progress. Lots of games use that to kind of create a anxiety response. I'm getting very stuck here. But it's different from just seeing a big thing in the water and being like, that sort of, like, more animal fear. The terror of, like, a predator. And I was trying to figure out, why do these not give me that sense? And I think it might be because they are not, like, triggering that part of my brain. They're not, like, getting that response from me at all. I was trying to pinpoint, why is that? And I think it might be because they are not registering in my brain as a wild animal, in a way, if that makes sense. They're registering in my brain as video game monster. And that's the thing that's been interesting to me. Like, why, like, what makes this feel like video game monster to me, instead of giving me that sort of fear of, like, oh man, I'm in the water with a shark. And it might be like, I wonder if it's in part because they are designed in a way that makes them look more visibly scary and threatening looking. Or like with the Reaper Leviathan, it roars at you. I feel like that turns it from the fear of, oh man, there's a big shark near where I'm swimming, to, I see a dragon has arrived. Sort of like we're in a fantasy realm. Not like I'm exaggerating to get the point across, but you know what I mean, right? And I understand why it roars. Like, I think from a game design perspective, that's a great choice because it's the signal you have that, oh, there's one of these nearby. And the game even at some point explains to you, like, I think in one of the PDA entries, if you can hear it, it can probably see you. Like, that's great, as in terms of like learning how to navigate the world and avoid danger and all that. Like, great game design choice. Love that. But it does make it less, like, there is something much more scary to me about a shark that I look over and see, oh geez, shark swimming by, acting like an animal that like is hard for me to intuit what it's thinking or planning to do. That's much more scary than seeing, like, looking over, oh, there's a Reaper Leviathan and it's roaring and it's just turning and looks mad at me in a way I can recognize. It's way better for like clarity in a gameplay sense, which I think is probably the more important thing. I think that was the right thing for them to prioritize. But for me, at least, it makes them less scary in that predator and prey sort of way. I don't know. I don't have any like real clarity or answers here on this. It got me to thinking and theorizing. I'm trying to like figure out what would make these things actually terrifying to me. VR honestly would probably do it. There is something, I don't do VR stuff a lot, and recording VR in this tiny office is basically impossible, but there is something like the coolest thing about VR versions of any game is the feeling of being there, of being able to see like, oh wow, this character is taller or shorter than me, because that's not something you can really feel or think about just looking through a gameplay camera. Like seeing them in the same space you're inhabiting, like that feels wildly different. And that experience, like feeling like, oh man, I'm in the water, like I am piloting this thing and looking around just by looking around would be amazing. But then if I saw something else in the water near me, that would be a much more, okay, nope, that's scary. Get away, you're huge. I think you can play this in VR. I'll have to figure out some way to try it. If Steam can ever get the hardware required, if the RAM shortage ends eventually, and Steam can actually launch their new VR headset that looks a little bit more manageable in a small space, hopefully. Maybe, we'll see. Anyway, we're here now. Home sweet home. I guess I should turn the engine off.
Engine powering down.
Because we're going to be parking this here for a little bit. I've got a lot of stuff. What all did I bring with me? It's a lot. Fair amount of quartz, because that's getting harder to find near the base up on the surface. A little bit of titanium. Some Reginalds for the tank. By the way, we're going to make a Reginald tank up here. That seems overdue. Kyanite and... yeah, kind of just a variety of ores and minerals and things that I was starting to run a little bit lower on topside. I'll get all that unloaded and into the base later.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Home sweet home. As much fun as I've been having in our cove base. Wait a minute, is the sea moth up there? I think it might be. Yep. Prawn, go here. Now I remember. Come on. Prawn. Go to your room. Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
There we are. We're home. Feels good. I did go ahead and put the first tank here that I think this will be our Reginald tank. So here, let me show you. Part of why I was bringing a bunch of supplies up in the Cyclops is because when I brought the Seamoth up here, I was like, oh, what do I want to add? I'd kind of love to get a proper, like, eating fish tank, like a little fish farm going. So where should I put that? Like, I was starting to plan where those sort of things would go, but then I ran out of, like, titanium and quartz, and then figured I better stock up a little better. Let's figure some of that out now, actually, while we're here. So I added, like, another multi-purpose room down here so we can expand the tank. Let's create an entrance for ourselves here, if possible. If possible. Wow, we can't even have a hatch in here because the tank is so large. That's kind of the one downside to adding those tanks to the smaller multi-purpose rooms. And it's also why I haven't, like, stacked another larger tank here. It's just adding just an obstruction to getting around is not something I want. I like having a nice open space to move. And having even this in here is a lot more like, okay, all right, let me get around. Okay. It's a little cramped. Can I even add a ladder down there? Is that allowed? No, there's not enough space because this tank is huge. How do we get down to that other room? I've created a puzzle for myself. We can figure this out. Hang on. We can figure this out. How did I get the other one in there? Now that I think, okay, I don't know why this one was allowed. I just sort of remembered, it's like, wait a minute. I started building a containment. I had to be able to get in there somehow. Did I have a ladder in here? I probably should put a ladder in here. Maybe that'll make it easier to get down here. I don't know. Whatever. Finish building that. Beautiful. Can I... Am I allowed to... Okay, good. Great. And let's add another one. Let's put them both on this side for consistency. Great. Now y'all live here. Perfect. Our fish gathering era is over. In fact, in celebration, I will retrieve this grav trap thing over here and end these fish's torment. There, be free. Wonder what other uses one might have for a grav trap. Like, what's the largest thing it'll grab, I guess, is the question. Like, would it catch even a stalker? Would a stalker get caught by a grav trap? Or is it too big? Sorry, we're getting distracted from our distraction here. If I don't do it now, I don't think I'm ever going to remember to try. Okay. Or like this little sand shark fella. Can I just drop it without do it? Yeah. Will you get caught? I don't think so. I think you're too big. So, okay, it's good for pulling in fish and making them a little easier to catch, which has value. I guess it could be handy for also Like pulling it, yeah, like pulling in loose stuff like this quartz down here. Like, that's kind of handy. I really do feel like some stuff has got to be respawning a little bit. Because I feel like I picked this place pretty clean of quartz. And there's just like a ton of it right here. But maybe it's a patch I missed. Probably. Anyway, back to our previous distraction. Really does feel quite nice being back at the surface after so long underground. Your moment may come soon, little buddy. I don't know how exactly, but I feel like you're going to be involved. I'll have to add some plants in there later. I also want to add one more little tank. One more... You know, we could add it here. I kind of like that. That's not where I was thinking I was going to add it, but I actually kind of like that idea. If there's space. I don't know if there's space for another room. There is. Beautiful. Okay. I want one more fish tank. We'll do this for now. We'll remove it later. But let's see. Hopefully I got enough glass/quartz for it. Good. All right. And we'll need a hatch. Perfect. That tank, dear viewer, is where the cuttlefish are going. Because we got a 1. And I believe we have another egg. We do. In fact, there's a couple other eggs we should drop off in this tank that I've picked up that I don't know what they are. But cuttlefish shouldn't have to live with so many grouchy, mean fish. They're too nice for that. They're going to get to live in here. We'll be neighbors. There we go. And there we go. And my hope is they will start breeding. We'll have more cuttlefish. Fingers crossed on that. Apparently, there's some little animations and cute things that can happen if you, like, take them with you out just in the water. We'll try that later. After this first experiment. Okay. Let's... we are going to need a hatch in there for the foreseeable future. Let's find a place to put it that doesn't look too unsightly. Or isn't too inconvenient. I guess there's no perfect option, but this will be fine. And since we got plenty of hull strength to spare, let's give them a view. They're a friendly fish. They deserve good fish life. Oh, we need more glass. Okay. We'll have to grab some quartz on the road. Yeah, I think those are the important upgrades to the base and changes. right, the other creature eggs. Let's go ahead and get those dropped in here, or one of them, so we can see what they are.
Captain.
I'm guessing amp eel for this one. This one, I don't know. I don't remember where I found it. Well, let's see if I'm right with this one first. There we go. Huge egg. That's got to be an amp eel. Gotta be. Okay. Let me get a little food. Yeah, I need to plant some creepvine in here as well, just to have the added visual cue of like, hey, there's a tank here. Don't just like, thunk. Don't just bird into a window pane every time you're walking through toward the sea moth. I think we need to take the prawn with us. Yeah, we need to go with the prawn today. After I've gotten some food and water. Hang on, let me get all prepped for the trip. Okay, we have been sufficiently distracted, but it's time to find a portal and head back down to the primary facility. To make my life a little bit easier, I went ahead and placed some beacons outside some of these portals, where they each went. One of those portals, like, drops you down in the Brine River. I've seen folks calling it Lost River. That also works. One of them takes you to just sort of an area in the northwest. I couldn't think of a more descriptive thing to name it. The south portal seems the most convenient and easy to get to. So we'll take that one. We go. Man, I know folks were talking up the grapple arm for this thing's mobility, and like it's true, but boy, the improved jets feel like the real game changer to me. I haven't touched the ground practically since leaving home. Like, that's the first time. We traveled like 600 or 700 meters without touching the ground. Pretty good. And it just makes like the grapple arm mobility even more effective because... Oh, hey. Perfect. I need more of this. But yeah, like the grapple arm gets you your most speed when you're airborne. Well, waterborne, you know what I mean. So the longer you can spend in the air, the more you can take advantage of the boost. Give me that quartz. There we go. Okay. I don't know why y'all are coming in here. This isn't water. Get it together, fish. You're embarrassing yourselves. Careful. Kind of a narrow walking path here. But all right. In we go. Perfect. This is quite nice to have. Just a fast travel hub, basically. Pretty huge. But okay. Hopefully we just need the one more key. It probably would have been smart to bring more, but... it's not like it's that long a trip. If we need more. There's a much bigger room than I was expecting on the other side. Ho-ho. Hello. Huh. Probably better bring the prawn for whatever that is. I just want to... look over... I'm not going to be able to get up there without the prawn either, so, okay. Oh boy. Let's come back with vehicle. I'll feel safer. All right. I do want to try jumping up there first. I don't know if that is anything, but it kind of looks like something. Come on. No? The heck? Weird. Is this gonna work? I don't know. Don't know if it's got enough oomph to get me up here. It might not. There's no way. That doesn't really seem like anything currently. Let's investigate this first. Cautiously. Hello. Uh-oh. Don't like that. Ah! Hi.
Are you here to play? Others came here once. They built these walls. They played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone. And instead, we have you. We are curious whether you swim with the current or fight against it as they did.
Hello? You seem much nicer than the ones out in the hot water. Are you chill? Please be chill. I'm gonna come down and join you. You're quite stuck in here, I'm realizing. And you've got that sort of effect on you that makes... like, suggests you've got that enzyme. Wonder if we can get you out of here. Might try scanning you first. Hey, wait up. You're very fast.
Environment scans indicate the water here is rich with a rare, plankton-like life form which depends on the organic detritus produced by the ecosystem around it.
Don't know if I can scan you. Let me kind of move.
Unusually passive behavioral patterns in nearby predators. Reason unknown.
I'm grateful, though.
Unlike other alien facilities, scans indicate this location supports a diverse and healthy ecosystem. Explanation unclear at this time.
Okay, you're not scannable. At this time. thrilled that your little tank here is chill. That's great for me. I will still see if I can get you out of it. Ooh, hello. Exciting. There you are, Prawn. Probably should go ahead and turn that beacon on, huh? Yeah, let's see what we can do down here. This is not what I expected to find, but I like it. It's a huge tank, and yet very cramped for you. Okay, if I can bring a cube here, perhaps. Sea Emperor eggs. The Sea Emperor's eggs. Uncommonly strong shell lining. Organic growth on the exterior suggests these eggs may be hundreds or thousands of years old. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and to isolate them from the surrounding environment. Like many eggs on 4546b, these do not contain a nutrient supply which is slowly exhausted by the embryo. Instead, they exist in a form of natural stasis, awaiting appropriate hatching conditions. There's a high genetic match between these organisms and the Leviathan in the vicinity. They appear to be stable and healthy. It is likely that ideal hatching conditions for the eggs vary considerably from ideal survival conditions for the parent. Huh. Well, neat. Wait. Incubator. The Emperor specimen's eggs are attached to some form of incubator. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that sea emperors would have buried their eggs in shallow waters, where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes, which would simulate the egg's natural hatching environment, but were unable to discover the formula. With extensive information on the sea emperors themselves, it may still be possible to fabricate an artificial hatching enzyme using indigenous ingredients. However, the only surviving source of that information may be the sea emperor itself. Nifty. If I could figure out how to hatch these for you, would we be cool?
Welcome aboard, Captain.
All right, so I'm going to need a cube for that. Are there any other mechanisms in here that I need to potentially tinker with? There's the portal, which looks a bit buried, but maybe if I supply a cube or two, we can get some movement happening there. Possibly not. And if not, honestly, fine. We've got plenty of ways of getting down here. Pretty easy. Very big tank. Not immediately noticing any other devices that I need to tinker with. I suppose I should try looking down in some of these little caves.
The plant life in this area is growing outside its normal conditions. Other life forms fertilizing and pruning the vegetation may be offsetting this environmental deficit.
Ah. It's pretty cool down here. I would love to find a way to let you out. If that is at all possible. I'd also love to find a way to let me out. I can't imagine so, but just in case. Like, I can't interact with these in any other way currently, right? Now, I think I need to get the ion cube down here. Which I do not currently have any. Let me see if I can get out of this tank. And, go fetch. Might be a little tricky, but we do have grapple arms. We can make it work. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Sit tight, Your Majesty. I need a green cube. For helpful reasons. I see now why they placed this here. And made it infinitely respawning. Like, it's a lovely find, just for all the other things you can use these for, but also so you don't have to run back to your base or go find some other alien facility that has more of these if you reach this point in the story and don't happen to have one. That would be a bit of a momentum killer, if you ask me. Right, that. Give me these. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. I'm back. Gonna see what I can do about the egg situation. All right. Cube. Ooh.
My young need to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me. If you help us, I will give you freely what the others tried in vain to take.
Count me in. Probably should investigate this first. Insert hatching enzymes. I need to bring the fish, don't I? Maybe? Well, hang on. Like, I'm assuming the enzymes are... Hang on. You're scannable, apparently. Come here. Peepers inside the containment facility. While all other creatures encountered within the facility are isolated within it, peepers appear to be coming and going of their own accord via the alien pipe network. On arrival, peepers are approaching the Sea Emperor. Peepers exhibit a natural affinity for the stomach enzymes being expelled by the Emperor. Peepers which have come into contact with the enzyme are returning to the pipe network. Analysis. This behavior must be the source of enzyme 42 on 4546b, or the area thereof which supports life. It is likely also responsible for the survival of the Emperor and other life forms contained within the facility. Cool. I don't know if that same enzyme is what is needed for these eggs, though. Like, it's the only enzyme I've encountered that I recall. And you have it, so let's, real quick see if that works. No. Okay. Gonna need to figure out where to get hatching enzymes from. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, you're swimming again. Got any hints? No? I'm gonna see if I can get this portal working. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Let me, get this working here. Bingo. It's working.
With the passage you have opened, my young can leave this place. But first they must feel the time is right and break free of their shells. This is what the others could not force from me. To you, I give the secret willingly.
Thank you.
New blueprint acquired.
Hatching enzymes. The Emperor specimen's eggs are attached to some form of incubator. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that sea emperors would have buried their eggs in shallower waters, where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing... Oh, wait. Oh, this is the thing we read before. The blueprint is the new thing we got, which requires... Ooh. Eye stalk seed, sea crown seed, fungal sample, bulb bush sample. A lot of plant samples. That's pretty cool. Eye stalk, sea crown, fungal sample, ghost weed. And you know, for funsies, I'm sure I could find a lot of these down here. For funsies, we'll find a bunch of these topside. And bring them down. Where does this go? Is this gun base? Gun base. I was wondering. Nice. Okay. We got us a new task. Let's run home and formulate a plan. That's very cool. What a neat thing to discover down there.
Seek fluid intake.
I'm getting to it. Stuck. Hang on. There we go.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Thank you. Whew. Better.
Vital signs stabilizing.
All right. So we also got a new thing we should read, but first... All right. Another one hatched. Now we wait and see. I'm hopeful. Did our other something hatch? Not yet. Still waiting on that one. It is a big egg. Yeah, we did get another little entry in here. Where'd it go? The Sea Emperor's life cycle. Available biological data has been used to synthesize the effects of the alien bacterium on the Sea Emperor's natural life cycle. This creature likely lived and moved in small herds around the planet's ocean trenches, coming to the surface to feed off the huge volumes of microorganisms in the shallower waters. Family size would be strictly limited by available food supply. Offspring would likely split off at a young age to form their own herds elsewhere. Given their sparse population, mating and egg-laying was likely infrequent, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime event. The species likely had a preferred environment for egg-laying. In fact, successful hatching may depend on such conditions. Given the rarity of this event, it is impossible to calculate those conditions precisely. There's no evidence to support the assumption that all members of the species were immune from the alien bacterium. Even if this is so, there is evidence that introduction of the bacterium decimated life on the planet, and this would have had catastrophic effects on the Emperor's food supply and survival rate. The symbiotic relationship between this specimen and other life forms likely developed as a direct result of the bacterial infection. Those life forms which learned to keep the Emperor alive survived with its help. This may explain the vast tracts of lifeless ocean and a rough perimeter around the Emperor's location. You know, that would make some sense. Neat. There's a lot of entries in here. I guess mostly just the ones we've been finding recently. I think there was one random thing PDA said to me before I started recording. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Warning, endorphin levels low. Consider taking a seat and meditating. It may help to remember that problems exist only where you choose to see them.
Thanks, PDA. I don't think that's entirely true, but I appreciate the thought. So we now have a new thing we need to synthesize, which is just going to require some plant material. And eye stalks we can gather from home. I've already got that and fungal samples. Ghostweed we'll need to go down deep for. Sea crown seed, I might have that in the garden as well. Bulb bush I don't think I have. Clearly a few things lacking from the collection here. Nope, that's veined nettle, not the sea crown thing. So perhaps tomorrow we'll start a little bit of exploring to gather some seeds. Yes, I think we will. Take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for a little, for a plant gathering voyage. Until then, goodbye.